Jack was not like other kids his age. At just 6 years old, he had a bright smile and a twinkle in his eye that showed his deep love for music. Every Saturday morning, he would sneak out of bed to turn on the radio, hoping to catch one of Elvis Presley's classic songs. The moment the familiar voice filled the room, Jack would dance around, pretending to be on stage himself. He admired Elvis not only for his powerful voice but also for his cool style and the way he connected with his fans. One day, while listening to Can't Help Falling in Love, Jack daydreamed about what it would be like to see Elvis perform live. He imagined being part of the crowd, feeling the excitement in the air as Elvis took the stage. That dream became his mission when he learned that Elvis would be performing nearby. But there was one problem: Jack didn't have enough money for a ticket. Determined to make his dream come true, Jack decided to spend his entire summer mowing lawns in his neighborhood. He went door to door, offering to cut grass and help with yard work. It was hard work under the hot sun, but Jack stayed motivated. Every time he earned a few dollars, he pictured himself at the concert, singing along with Elvis. The more lawns he mowed, the more excited he became, imagining that fantastic moment when he would finally see his idol live. Jack's friends thought he was crazy for working so hard at such a young age, but he didn't care. He believed that if he worked hard enough, anything was possible, even watching Elvis sing right in front of him. Little did Jack know that this summer would change his life forever. As summer rolled in, Jack was ready to turn his dream into reality. He crafted a plan that was simple yet effective: mow lawns all around his neighborhood to save enough money for that precious ticket to see Elvis. With determination in his heart, Jack made a list of houses nearby where he could offer his services. Early each morning, while the sun peeked over the horizon, he would grab his little red toy lawnmower, which looked more like a prop than a real machine, and set off on his mission. At first, it wasn't easy. Some neighbors laughed at the sight of such a small boy trying to mow their lawns. "Are you sure you can handle it?" one lady asked with a grin. But Jack simply nodded, his bright eyes filled with confidence, and assured them that he could do it. As he pushed the mower, he sometimes struggled to keep it steady. The blades felt heavy, and the hot sun beat down on him. Yet the thought of hearing Elvis sing kept him going. Jack learned quickly how to navigate around flower beds and avoid rocks. He even discovered that some lawns were tougher than others, with grass that seemed to reach for the sky. But each time he finished a job, he felt proud of his hard work. With every dollar earned, he imagined himself in the concert crowd, singing along with Elvis. As the weeks went on, Jack faced challenges like sudden rain showers and tired muscles that begged for a break. But he never let tough days dim his spirit. His enthusiasm became contagious. Soon, neighbors began to cheer him on, and even offered him lemonade as a reward for his efforts. Each sip fueled his dream even more, pushing him closer to that unforgettable moment when he would finally see Elvis live. As the summer days turned into weeks, Jack's excitement grew as he started counting his earnings. He set a goal for himself. He needed $50 to buy the concert ticket to see Elvis live. Each time he finished mowing a lawn, he carefully tucked the money into a small piggy bank that had a picture of Elvis on it. The bright colors on the bank reminded him of his dreams and made him smile every time he added more coins. Jack loved watching the cash pile up. After each mow, he would sit in the shade of a tree and count his money, imagining how amazing it would be to finally see Elvis in person. Some days he would whisper to his friends, "Just wait until I see him. I'll be right in front." With every dollar he saved, his dream felt closer and more real. He even created a little chart to track his progress, drawing fun pictures of Elvis beside each milestone. When he reached $25, he drew a dancing Elvis with sparkles around him. The chart hung on his bedroom wall, serving as a daily reminder of what he was working toward. The days felt long and hard sometimes, but Jack never lost sight of that magical moment when he would sing along with his idol. Once in a while, neighbors were so impressed by his determination that they gave him tips for his hard work. "Here's an extra $1 for your dream," one man said with a kind smile. Jack's heart filled with joy as these little surprises helped him reach his goal faster. By the end of summer, Jack felt proud as he counted out $50 from his piggy bank. His dream was no longer just a thought, it was something tangible that he could hold in his hands, the ticket to an unforgettable experience that awaited him soon. The day of the concert finally arrived, and Jack could hardly contain his excitement. The morning sun shone brightly as he jumped out of bed, feeling like it was Christmas morning. Today was the day he had worked so hard for, and he wanted everything to be perfect. After breakfast, he dressed in his favorite Elvis t-shirt, the one with a shiny gold image of the king himself. He knew it would bring him good luck. As his mom drove him to the arena, Jack's heart raced with a mix of joy and nervousness. He stared out the window, watching familiar streets turn into bustling crowds heading toward the concert. The atmosphere felt electric, filled with laughter and chatter from other fans excited to see their idol. Jack could hardly sit still. Every bump in the road seemed to make his heart skip a beat. Once they parked and walked toward the entrance, he could hear music playing from inside, a medley of Elvis hits that made him want to sing along. Jack clutched his ticket tightly in his hand as they joined the growing line of fans. The closer they got to the entrance, the more real it all felt. Would he really be seeing Elvis? It seemed almost too good to be true. After minutes that felt like hours, they finally stepped inside the arena. The lights were bright, and an enormous stage loomed before him. Jack gazed in wonder at the crowd filling up every seat, families, friends, and fellow Elvis fans all sharing this special moment together. As he took his place near the back of the arena, Jack glanced at his handmade sign that read, "I mowed lawns to see you," and felt a surge of pride swell within him. With each passing minute, excitement flooded through him like a wave. He could hardly wait for Elvis to take the stage. Would he notice Jack? Would singing along be as magical as he'd imagined? All these thoughts raced through his mind as he prepared for what was about to become the best moment of his life. As Jack approached the arena, he felt his heart racing faster than ever. The towering walls of the building loomed in front of him, and the sound of cheering fans spilled out like a wave, crashing over him with excitement. Everywhere he looked, people were wearing flashy outfits, some even adorned with rhinestones that sparkled in the sunlight, just like Elvis himself. Jack's eyes widened as he took it all in, the colors, the sounds, and the energy that buzzed in the air. Once inside, the noise was even louder. Fans were laughing, singing snippets of Elvis songs, and sharing stories about their favorite moments. Jack clutched his ticket tightly, and could hardly believe he was finally there. The crowd seemed enormous, stretching as far as he could see. It was a thrilling sight but also a bit overwhelming for a small boy like him. With every step closer to his seat, Jack felt a mix of anticipation and nervousness. What if he got lost in this huge crowd? What if he couldn't see well? But those worries faded away as he caught glimpses of other fans holding signs just like his, expressing their love for Elvis. A sense of belonging washed over him. He was part of something special. As they made their way to their seats near the back of the arena, Jack's eyes darted around at all the colorful lights hanging above the stage. They danced and twinkled like stars ready to shine brightly for Elvis's performance. He could almost feel the music vibrating through his bones, intensifying his excitement. When they finally settled into their seats, Jack leaned forward with wide eyes and a huge smile on his face. As he gazed at the stage where so many dreams would come alive in moments, he could hardly wait to see Elvis take his first step into view. The atmosphere crackled with energy and anticipation. This was it, the moment Jack had dreamed about all summer long. As the lights dimmed and the crowd began to roar, Jack felt a surge of adrenaline rush through him. This was it, the moment he had been dreaming about all summer long. He stood tall at the back of the arena, clutching his handmade sign that read, "I mowed lawns to see you." With every beat of his heart, he could feel the excitement in the air building around him like a wave ready to crash. Gathering all his courage, Jack lifted the sign high above his head, hoping that his idol would see it. His little hands trembled slightly as he held up the bright poster board decorated with colorful markers and musical notes. The sign represented not just his love for Elvis but also all the hard work he had done mowing lawns to earn the ticket. Jack's cheeks flushed with pride as he thought about the long summer days spent pushing that heavy lawnmower around his neighborhood. As Jack scanned the faces in the crowd, he spotted other fans holding up their own signs and banners, each expressing their love for Elvis. That sight filled him with hope and determination. He wasn't alone. Everyone here shared this special moment together. The music started to play softly in the background, and tension grew in anticipation. Jack's heart raced when he saw spotlights sweep across the audience, finally landing on him for a brief moment. He felt like the world was closing in on just him and his sign, and he wanted to shout with joy that he was there because of his dedication. Suddenly, amidst all the cheers and shouts from fans around him, Jack caught a glimpse of Elvis on stage. The king himself was striding toward the front, singing and dancing with passion. Jack's eyes widened in disbelief as they locked onto each other for just a heartbeat. In that instant, he knew that all his hard work had paid off and that this moment would forever be etched in his heart. As the music surged and the crowd erupted into cheers, Jack's heart raced uncontrollably. Suddenly, in the midst of Elvis's vibrant performance, the king paused and scanned the sea of fans in front of him. Jack felt a surge of hope wash over him as he held his sign aloft, praying that his idol would notice. That moment felt like an eternity, and Jack could hardly breathe. Then it happened. Jack's eyes locked onto Elvis, who broke into a dazzling smile that lit up the entire arena. Time seemed to stand still as Elvis pointed directly at him. Jack's heart soared as he watched the famous performer gesture for security to come closer. "Is this really happening?" he thought, feeling a blend of disbelief and joy. The noise around him faded away as if he were in a bubble, separate from everything else. A friendly security guard approached with a smile and knelt beside him. "Come with me, buddy," he said gently, extending his hand. Jack could hardly believe what was happening. This was the moment he had dreamed about all summer. His legs felt like jelly as he stood up, but there was no hesitation in his heart. With each step forward through the crowd, Jack felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. He glanced back at his mom, who beamed with pride, waving enthusiastically. As he arrived at the front row, Elvis stepped down from the stage and reached out to greet him. Elvis leaned closer and handed Jack a colorful scarf that hung around his neck, its fabric soft against Jack's tiny hands. "You're a hard worker, young man," Elvis said warmly, looking directly into Jack's eyes. In that magical instant, Jack felt like the happiest boy alive. All his hard work had led him here, to share this special moment with his idol, while feeling appreciated for his efforts. With joy bubbling inside him, Jack knew this was just the beginning of an unforgettable experience that he would cherish forever. As Jack was gently pulled to the front row, he felt as if he were floating on air. The noise of the crowd faded away, replaced by a dreamy silence that surrounded him. Everything felt surreal. It was hard to believe that he was actually standing this close to Elvis Presley, the legend he had admired for so long. When Jack reached the front, Elvis looked down at him with a warm smile that lit up his face. It was as if the entire arena disappeared, and all that mattered was this incredible connection between the two of them. Jack's heart swelled with happiness and disbelief. He could hardly believe he was here, embraced by the moment he had worked tirelessly for all summer. Elvis knelt down slightly, making Jack feel special and important. "Hey there, buddy," Elvis said, his voice friendly and inviting. Jack felt a rush of joy as he returned the smile, his cheeks flushed with excitement. Elvis then reached into his pocket and pulled out a beautiful scarf, its fabric shimmering under the bright lights of the stage. The scarf seemed to shine with all the colors of the rainbow, and Jack's eyes grew wide. "Here's something for you," Elvis said, handing it to Jack with a flourish. The scarf was soft and warm in Jack's small hands, and he could smell a hint of Elvis's cologne mixed with the thrill of the moment. "You worked hard for your dream," Elvis continued, "and it shows. Keep it close, it'll remind you of this night." Jack could hardly contain his happiness. The scarf felt like a treasure, a symbol of all his efforts and dreams coming true at once. In that instant, standing in front of his idol with a scarf from him in hand, Jack knew he would cherish this memory forever. He waved to the crowd proudly, feeling like a star himself, ready to soak in every second of this magical experience with Elvis right before him. As the music swelled and the crowd sang along, Jack could hardly contain his excitement, clutching the scarf Elvis had just given him. The atmosphere was electric, filled with the sound of fans cheering and singing together. Just when Jack thought the moment couldn't get any better, something magical happened. Elvis, in the middle of his performance, glanced around the audience and pointed directly at Jack. For a brief moment, it felt as though time had stopped. Jack's heart raced as he realized that Elvis was recognizing him in front of everyone, making him feel like a star himself. The crowd erupted into cheers, and Jack's cheeks flushed with a mix of joy and disbelief. He could hardly believe it. Here he was, just a little boy who had spent his summer working hard for this dream, now being acknowledged by his idol. Elvis continued to sing, but every time he turned back towards Jack, he would point again and flash that dazzling smile. It felt as though Elvis was singing just for him, turning this moment into an unforgettable experience. Jack's eyes sparkled with delight as he waved to the legend on stage, feeling an overwhelming sense of pride swell in his chest. As the song went on, Jack reveled in the spotlight. His favorite performer not only saw him, but also celebrated his journey with a shout-out that would resonate in his heart forever. Surrounded by thrilled fans who cheered him on, he felt a sense of belonging and validation like never before. This moment marked a special chapter in Jack's life, a memory he would cherish forever. Years later, he would look back on this day as not just an exciting concert but as a pivotal moment that showed him the power of dreams and dedication. With every note sung by Elvis echoing through the arena, Jack knew that this incredible experience would remain etched in his heart for all time. As the concert came to a close and the final notes of Elvis's last song faded into cheers and applause, Jack sat there in awe, clutching his special scarf tightly in his hands. The arena buzzed with excitement, but for Jack, time felt like it had stopped. He couldn't believe how much had happened in just a few short hours. The moment he had been dreaming about all summer had turned out to be everything he hoped for and more. Reflecting on his incredible experience, Jack felt a swell of pride rise in his chest. This journey wasn't just about the concert. It was about the determination and hard work he had put in over those long summer days. Mowing lawns under the hot sun had all led to this very moment, standing in front of Elvis Presley, feeling like he was part of something bigger than himself. As fans began to file out of the arena, Jack couldn't help but smile widely. He glanced around at other fans buzzing with excitement, sharing their own stories and experiences from the night. He realized that everyone in that crowd had their moments too, but tonight had been uniquely his. The connection he felt with Elvis made it even more special. It was a reminder that dreams do come true with hard work and dedication. Jack's mom found him amidst the throng of excited fans. She smiled at her son, clearly proud of all he had accomplished. "Did you have the best time ever?" she asked. "The best," Jack exclaimed, his eyes shining brightly. As they walked out together, Jack held onto that scarf tightly, knowing it would forever symbolize not just this magical night but also the journey it took to get there. With every step away from the arena, Jack carried with him lessons of perseverance and belief in himself, lessons he would take into his future adventures. He knew this unforgettable day would be etched deep in his heart, reminding him always that if you work hard and follow your dreams, anything is possible.